Get off my lawn. Don't turn around in my driveway. And don't drive slow when you're in the left lane. Scooby-Doo-Bop-Bop-a-Deep-a-Doo-Bop-Bop. Surrounded by brilliance. Welcome back to another episode of Surrounded by Brilliance podcast. I am your host, Josh Will, and I just lost the document I'm looking for. Here it is. I'm going to let you in on what the podcast is about. If it's the first time you're watching, maybe it's going to be the last time you're watching because you don't like me, you don't like my guests. And if that's the case, we don't give a shit. You can eat a bag of you-know-what. So the Surrounded by Brilliance podcast was created to bring together like-minded people who don't get offended by much and who are annoyed by many things. It's a podcast where humor, levity, some serious discussion will give you a glimpse in the inner workings of my brain, a self-proclaimed get off my lawn guy. You'll hear some funny stories, interesting opinions, a lot of grumpiness, and a whole lot more from some really interesting people and some not so interesting people, which is a great segue into the first of both my guests, because double time today. We've got a frequent flyer back, and then we've got another gentleman who's been on the pod before. But my guests are Brent N and Brent Niekamp. Brandon is a man of many talents. He's a former probation officer, current electrician, and is forklift certified. He's also a former athlete and co-owner of BJ Construction, although BJ Construction has yet to actually get any work and be paid for it. Away from work,
we have done a job at your house, so there's that.
We have done, yes, we have.
We get paid for it.
We can elaborate. When I'm done with the intros, we can elaborate on BJ Construction. Away from work, he balances the ability to embarrass and disgust his sassy 13-year-old daughter while schooling her on the coolest things in life. He's here to talk about life, his amazing dad bod, and how he landed his girlfriend, Christy, who is completely out of his league. His tendency to be easily disgusted with other humans is partially why he is a reoccurring guest on this podcast and practically my co-host. When I say practically my co-host, first of all, I don't like Howard Stern, but he's kind of like the Artie Lang to my Howard Stern. That's Brandon Hoehn. Ladies and gentlemen, number 69 in the program, number 1 in your hearts, Brandon Hoehn. My other guest is Brent Niekamp. Brent has been married to his wife, Kimberly, for 21 years. They have 4 children, Carly, Andy, Ellie, and Audrey. It's a 1990 graduate of Fort Recovery High School and a 2003 graduate of Tri-State University. Brent is in his 23rd year of teaching and coaching. A majority of those 23 years were spent teaching and coaching at his alma mater, Fort Recovery High School, where he led the Fort Recovery football team to a state championship in 2015. This past fall, Brent joined the academic faculty and coaching staff at Tip City. Those are my guests. What is up, my friends? How are we doing?
I'm lovely. Doing well.
Lovely, he said.
Good, man. Enjoying the holidays.
I don't think Brent's not as old as 1990. It's shouldn't it be 1999?
It should be 99.
I mean, you got old balls.
Well, it's 99 on here. I must have just said it wrong. So if you're listening at home, Brent is not in his 50s yet. He graduated from Fort Recovery in 1999. I was rushing. Good news, it's my podcast. I can fucking do that if I want. So anyways, you guys were talking a little bit. If you're watching this at home, you're probably wondering where that sexy beast of a man, Mr. 4th of July, is. Well, had some technical difficulties. Different angle, different computer. Deal with it. So, gentlemen, what's going on? If we're getting specific, how was your Christmas? And do we have any New Year's plans? I'll ask you first, Brent.
Yeah, Christmas was great. We hit all the usual parties, the Niekamps and my mom, or my wife's side, my mom's side. We hit about four or five Christmas parties, which are always fun. I think we're gonna watch the Buckeyes at my brother Tyler's house for New Year's. Just get together with siblings and then go to mom and dad's on New Year's Day. So pretty low key. Not the way it was back in our 20s. Brandon and I were talking about that before, but just nice and relaxing.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, I actually we invited Brandon and his lovely girlfriend up here, but they already had plans. So I'm sure I know my wife will be in bed definitely before midnight. Definitely, I'll
No.
be staying up and watching. Well, there's a hockey game that night because assuming that they voted and they won't be on strike anymore.
Well, I did see,
So
thanks to your darling wife and her hard work and devotion, the player strike has reached a tentative deal. That's what it said online. So
tentative agreement, yes. So I think the players were supposed to vote this evening. So by the time this comes out, there will either have been hockey or there won't be. So how about you, Brandon? How was your Christmas? How was your or any plan? I know you have plans for New Year's, but actually, you made when you guys couldn't hear me, you made a comment, and I know it was directed towards Brent because you brought up the matching pajama thing, right? Or was that for me and Tony? Because every year, typically, the Niekamps put a picture
they
out
did.
where they're always wearing
Didn't
matching.
have Brent wasn't in full pajama.
He wasn't. I noticed that.
Everybody else was except Brent. So no, I didn't notice. Did you guys have pajamas? I didn't notice if you guys did.
No, the kids did. Grandma and Grandpa always get them for all the grandkids. They quit getting them for us, though. I don't think they liked how me and Johann looked in them.
I think as late as last year, you guys had a picture. So I'm pretty certain last year you guys all had PJs on because I was like, "Aw, isn't that special?"
That's cute.
We try.
You try. Did you get like did either of you get like a favorite gift? Get a gift that you're like, this is awesome? Or did you just get the typical, I'm in my 40s, I have no expectations.
Well,
this is great, thank you.
Well, my
it's
darling
sort of a gift for
girlfriend got me a
I might have lost
pretty
you guys.
sick forklift certified hat.
I'll keep talking.
A new hat.
You guys are frozen.
Got them forklift certified. That's pretty kick ass. So
that is.
Yeah, I got Amelia got me some odds and ends. She got me a gift card for Menards and that kind of stuff. Krista got me some odds and ends stuff. She said I got another gift coming. It's still in the mail. She's got one of hers that's still in the mail, so it's just kind of one of those. I said, you just give it to me in April on my birthday. I don't care. But she's not going to do that. But no, Christmas was great. We went to my mom's and hung out with my sisters and my niece. And we had 2 weeks ago, I think, last week, we had Christmas here at Christy's house with all her kids, and it was great. It's just been great. We're gonna watch the Buckeyes.
So Dana was back?
No, she didn't come home. I should say I was with my sister and my niece. So I was with Shonda. So
nice.
Dana hasn't been home for Christmas in a couple years, so she's in LA, so it's kind of hard to make it back when she's out there.
Gift or what's a gift you got?
Well, I kind of got one for myself and the kids. We got all the kids like 2 gifts, and one was a concert. So we're gonna go see Andy, Carly, and I are gonna go see AC/DC this summer.
Nice.
When they play at the Shoe. So Kim and I saw them last spring in Detroit, which that was kind of a big deal because I've wanted to see them for years and didn't think I was going to get a chance, just because they're so old. And so we got the tickets to go, and Andy assumed that he was going with me because that's kind of something he and I do. And about a week before, Kim had to tell him, "No, Dad and I are going."
You're freezing up, Brent.
Am I back?
You're back.
Yeah.
So Kim had to tell Andy, "No, Dad and I are going." And he's a kid that never gets mad. He was pissed off for like 4 days. So now he gets to go. Since they're coming back to the States, we're going to go get to see him.
Nice.
That'll be fun.
Very cool. Well, that's great. I have a lot of questions, some new questions, some new commentary. So we're going to get moving on this. I always ask this question, before we have you guys talk about what your current or recent get off my lawn moment is. I'll ask each of you. I'll ask Brent first. Just when you hear the phrase "get off my lawn," what does that mean to you?
This is me first.
You, Brent. Yep.
I automatically think of Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino. That's the first thing that pops into my mind. And I feel like I knew about 30 guys like that growing up, you know. You're riding your bike around town, or riding your bike through somebody's grass or something stupid, and like those guys were everywhere, and we were
Yeah.
terrified of them, and they were awesome.
So
That's
true.
perfect.
How about you, Brandon?
I think
How about you,
I think I've
Brandon?
said it before, but it's kind of like that ventriloquist. I can't think of it. Jeff Dunham, Walter, the ventriloquist, the old angry ventriloquist guy, just pissed off about everything. He's annoyed with everything. He's pissed off about it. That's what I think of.
Nice. Yeah. And I guess I should go back before all this. If you're listening for the first time and you heard Brandon's intro, you heard Brent's intro, how we know each other is Brandon and I, who went to the same high school and played football in high school, we actually played Brent's high school team. They were in our conference. And then actually we went to the same college as Brent. All three of us went to Tri-State University, OG. So that's how we know each other. And obviously we're still friends. So anyways, I'll go back to where we were. So we talked about what "get off my lawn" means to you. And obviously the segment that we always spend a decent amount of time on here is, which really is the foundational piece of this podcast, because it's what we get on here to complain about, and is the "get off my lawn" segment. It's those moments where you just kind of think to yourself, what the, like, you tilt your head and you look at whoever's doing what they're doing. You're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are we doing this? Like, why are you so stupid? Kind of like oxygen thieves, right? You look at someone, you're like, you're stealing my oxygen. You shouldn't be allowed to. I know that's a little harsh, but again, my podcast, I can say what I want. And if you take me that serious and don't realize we're just here to have fun, why the hell are you listening to this podcast anyways?
Sometimes the truth.
I'm not doing a very good job of marketing this. All I keep doing is telling people, you don't like it, don't fucking listen. So I'm going to ask Brandon to share his "get off my lawn" moment first. And remember, you can't be a repeat of anything you've ever said on here.
All right. Well, I'm sitting here at Christie's and I switched phones and I had a list on my old phone. I had a whole list of topics. Because I have an app that has a whole bunch. It's just like a note that I can take notes and stuff. So I pull it up and I didn't carry any of those notes over. So I'm like, oh shit, what do I got? I got to think of one of them. And I was going to say, like people who chew with their mouth open. But
Solid.
that's a solid one. But I'm pivoting and I'm going with people who can't pronounce words right. Like somebody who says library instead of library, or says spaghetti or spaghetti instead of spaghetti, or they say pillow instead of pillow. Yeah, they're practically dead to me.
Wow. I mean,
Run.
what if they have a speech impediment?
I guess that's somewhat understandable, but I can live with that.
You're saying people who
People are just are idiots and they can't pronounce words right. That's what I'm going with.
Well, so if you say library or biscotti or any of those other words Brandon said, you're practically dead to him.
Your uncle is a prime example. He says breakfast instead of breakfast. Like, what are you doing?
Okay, well, we know how Brandon feels about people who. I'm going to tell you what, Brandon. The first time you say a fucking word wrong, I'm going to jump right up your ass.
I'm not saying that I'm perfect, because obviously I'm almost down. But like, I do say words wrong, but I don't. I don't think I have any words in my vernacular that I intentionally say wrong or that I know better.
Well, yeah, because I'm pretty certain you just said vernacular wrong. It's vernacular. I don't think there's an R in the beginning.
Made its motto.
All right, Brandon. So, what positive can because again, I always ask my guests so people don't think we're just negative. What positive can you take from your dislike and hatred for people who say words wrong?
I don't necessarily. I can just choose not to talk to them anymore.
Okay.
But I can also use it as a learning moment and talk to them like they're a little kindergartner and treat them like a little kindergartner and tell them that's not how you pronounce words. It's actually like,
You know,
and then when they say it
you,
wrong again, then I can just consider them an idiot and not have to talk to them anymore.
okay.
Or I could just use
Right.
it and mock them and say it back to them so they can kind of hear how stupid they are. Yeah.
Brandon, if this is the first time you've been here and Brandon's been a guest, if you're listening, he has perfected
Vernacular.
the
I'm
he's
right.
perfected the
Yeah, you're
when I
right.
ask when I ask guests to turn something into a positive, Brandon has perfected turning a positive basically into a passive aggressive slap in the face of the exact person that he just mocked.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's how it is. And by the way, my language arts girlfriend, who's way out of my league, said it is vernacular, not vernacular.
I said I wasn't 100% certain.
I was right,
I,
so I'm not necessarily an idiot.
well, and we're all idiots in different ways. I mean,
I'm
we're
a
on this
complete
podcast.
idiot. I'm a complete idiot.
Thanks, Christy. All right, Brent, what's your get off my lawn moment today? I know that you got a ton.
Well, the one that I love to complain about right now is like the the over over complicating vehicles. So a few years ago I got a Tahoe. It's a 2015, but I think it's an LTZ. So it's got all the bells and
Okay.
whistles on it. But
Yeah.
that's just more stuff that can break and not work right. So mostly it just ticks me off because it's, this electronic doesn't work right or this thing doesn't work right. And when I was in high school, I drove an 85 Ford Ranger with a manual, transmission that had rolled down windows and everything. So like I like things as simple as can be. So I didn't even really pay attention when I got this vehicle to like all that stuff. It's kind of like, oh yeah, those are kind of cool features, except for when they don't work, then it sucks and then you're mad at it all the time. So I'm constantly like tinkering around and trying to figure out what's wrong with this or that. And I'm just like, just give me the old wind up windows and everything manual. That's fine. Then it can't get screwed up anymore.
That's pretty good.
It's, I
I'm
mean,
on board with that one.
there are touches of Clint Eastwood in that alone. I mean, that's like, give me the simplest GD thing you got. All right, Brent, what positive can you take from that?
I guess it's that you got to learn how to work new things. I don't, I guess
I guess.
the more, the more crap I got to figure out how to fix, the more I guess I got to learn so I can learn something from it.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that because and Brandon might remember this. Brandon, you remember that smaller like crossover Infinity Q that Tony had for like a year? That car
Yep.
that she went from a Jeep Cherokee to that, and it was a good deal. It was a nice vehicle. It had all these bells and whistles that Brent's talking about, and she like finally like a month and a half into it, she's like every time if I go too far this way, it brings me back, or this noise alerts me. It says I'm doing this. I'm like, yeah, that it's because it's got all these different safety features. And she says, and I quote, well, I don't like this car is too safe. And all these features annoy me. And I was like, well, maybe we can figure out a way to turn off the alert or something. She's like, I don't know. So she drove that car for probably another 6, 7 months. And she's like, I'm going to trade this in. I've had it. I'm like, okay. She ended up getting a Ford Explorer, which has since been wrecked. Not that I'll go into that, because she hit 2 deer this year, but
She
because I know she'll
she
listen.
had all those safety features after she hit those 2 deers.
Well, that Explorer had a ton of safety features, and like I was driving it for the first time, and I was like, "Well, what's that mean?" She goes, "Oh, that's a safety feature that it has." Acting as though I should have known that, and I was like, "Well, I thought you didn't like cars with safety features, so I like this one."
That's
You
a
said
safety
so.
feature, peasant.
Yes. All right. So here's my get off my lawn. This happened. This happened a couple weeks ago, and I think I've alluded to this before, but I don't know that I've ever said this one. But people who turn around in our driveway, I may have said it before, but
I think you
I'm going
alluded
to talk
to
about it
people
anyway.
crossing through your yard from one side to the other.
So, Brandon, you've been to my house. I'm the last house on a dead end private drive. So, if you come down to my driveway, you're supposed to be there and you've been invited, or you have no freaking clue where you're at, or you're being nosy. So I was out with the flashlight. I took the garbage out. It's like 8:30, 9 o'clock or something. And we had a bunch of snow or whatever. And I'm coming back to the house and I see lights come around that curve. And I'm like, what's going on? No one's supposed to be coming here. And the people who live next to us don't live there full time. The guy is there like 3 times a year. So I'm like, what's going on? So this person comes down. They clearly don't know where the hell they're going. And there are plenty of areas to turn around in before you even cross over into my driveway. So I stood out there and I'm watching this guy, and then he ends up coming onto my property. So what did I do? I turned my flashlight on and I just shine it right into his car. I'm just shining it. I'm waiting for him to like roll his window down and be like, "Hey, sorry, I went the wrong way or whatever." He doesn't do anything. He doesn't acknowledge me. He's just looking forward, and I'm like 50 feet from him, just shining the fucking light right at him. Right? He comes in my yard in the driveway, backs up, turns around, and leaves, and I just kept shining the light on him. Right? So, uh, so I just get frustrated with like how do you not know where you like what are you doing? Don't turn around on my fucking driveway.
You'll enjoy this.
So
You'll enjoy this. It was this fall before it got really cold. Christy and Amelia and I were out driving around, and she's like, "I'll show you where I grew up." So they kind of lived in the back of this backwoods. So she's like, she goes, "Our house was back down this lane." She goes, "Oh, let's just drive back there." And so she just pulls in the lane, goes up to the house, and there's a guy out unloading groceries or doing something. And she just pulls in, backs out, and turns around, and she's kind of like, "Hi." And
oh, she waved.
he's
Did she
looking at us
wave?
like,
She waved.
yeah, she kind of,
Okay.
and he's just looking at us like, "What the fuck are you doing?" It was the same thing. He didn't have a flashlight, but he was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, you're not supposed to be here. Right. So the positive I can take from this is one of two things are going to happen. I'm either just going to I'm always going to keep being an asshole. Like it gives me the opportunity to just do things like the fat flashlight, and that's fun to me because it's my property, right? And they can't say boo. But really, a positive I could take from this is it is the motivation for me to get a sign made that says if you weren't invited, you should not be driving here or something like that. So it's the motivation for it. But so now that we're done with the get off my lawn stuff, I wanted to go back to briefly to BJ Construction because Brent can put two and two together here. But Brandon and we've done some projects around my house, and we think we're going to do a deck at some point. But BJ Construction will blow the competition out of the water when it comes to pricing. That's our tagline.
Slogan. We're gonna put that on the back of the shirt.
So just wanted, in case you guys need some work done down there, get a hold of BJ Construction. We'll take care of you in more ways than one.
We're good at trim work.
All right. Let's get to some rapid fire questions, guys, because I've been kind of honing and tweaking some of these questions. So in the past, we talked about giving up our sense of humor versus our looks. I changed this a little bit. We're going to find out where your guys' heads are. So I'm going to ask Brent this question first. So Brent, if I came to you at 18 and said, you've got to give up your sense of humor or the opportunity to play football, which would it be at 18? So you either give up your sense of humor and you can play college football or finish your senior year in high school, or you can't ever play football again and you still have a sense of humor. What's it going to be?
I think I
It's a
would
tough
be.
one.
I think I would be a grouchy, humorless.
Yeah,
I think I would just be grouchy and mad at the world all the time, but I would play football.
I like it. I like it. Brandon, same question to
I
you.
like Brent's answer, but I would probably say, you know what? I'm just going to keep my sense of humor because in the grand scheme of things, football never got me any chicks.
Well, because you went to the wrong school.
Exactly. So but
Okay.
my sense of humor has helped me out in my life more than football ever has. I cherish all of my relationships that I've had with guys that I played football with and teammates that I've had in the 12 years that I played football. But after high school,
Is
like I if I ultimately if I didn't play college football, it would not have I would I didn't benefit from college football, aside from the relationships and anything like that. So I'd still keep my sense of humor.
Well,
what?
hey, newsflash. But college football, I think Brent might agree with me. College, the best thing college football gave me were the friendships and relationships. Because guess what? This this guy didn't go. I didn't go anywhere after that. Was never going to. It didn't. So it didn't get me anywhere, but it got me some really great friendships.
I
And I
agree,
mean,
I agree with you 100%. But I think
and I
in
guess
the grand scheme of things, I think I would have probably been okay, and I probably would. I'm social enough. I would have been able to find friends outside of the football team. But I found better friends that were just as big assholes as I was that I played football with in college. So I cherish that, and I do. I loved every second of it. So and I loved all my teammates. So
Brent, you were going to say something.
yeah, like you're asking 18-year-old me, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Like
yeah.
18-year-old me picks football, no question about it.
18-year-old me is a giant meathead too. So I'd probably pick football too, but and not look at the long term. 47-year-old, 46-year-old Brandon, I make a wiser decision. But meathead Brandon at 18, I'd probably pick football.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. I tell you what, there are times where the sense of humor stuff aside, where because I sometimes have concerns about my memory. So sometimes I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have played those last 4 years of football, but I'm really glad I did. Here we are. All right. Next question. Who'd I ask that one first to? I asked Brent first.
Yep.
So I'll ask Brandon this one first. Zombie apocalypse happens. How long do you think you personally survive, Brandon?
Well, I don't have to be the fastest runner. I just have to outrun the person behind me. So I'm not a sprinter by any stretch. It just depends on what kind of zombies. Are you talking about the sprinting zombies like in the new age movies, the ones that just kind of creep around? I can outmaneuver them all day long. So unless I twist an ankle or something. But
But see, you're looking at this all wrong. You're like, when I say survive, be realistic. If your whole idea is you're just going to run from them, dude, you've got like 10 minutes.
but
Left.
you gotta
I'm
also
saying
survive.
you got to run, hide, kill, evade, all that stuff.
I think I would be able to survive a little while. I'd be able to survive a little
Okay, what's a little while? Week?
I'd
Days?
I'd go
Months?
a couple of years, I think. I
Whoa!
can hunt. I mean, I'm not a total nincompoop. I can hunt. I can shoot animals. I'd eat a dog or a cat if I had to. I think
Well, I'm guessing
I wouldn't
in
eat
this
Jack,
scenario, though,
but I would eat a dog if I had to.
you're goddamn right you wouldn't eat Jack because I would kill you. So in this scenario, it sounds to me like You don't. Amelia's been eaten by a zombie. Christy's been eaten by a zombie. The rest of your family. So you're literally like, I'm not going to try to save my family and keep them alive. I'm just focused on Brandon.
I'm
Is
selfish.
what I'm
I'll
hearing.
just try to outlive,
Okay.
outlast. I'm like the show Survivor. Outlive, outlast, whatever it is.
Okay. Brent, same question
I'll
to
trip
you.
somebody. If it saves me, I'm gonna trip somebody. Knock them down. They can get eaten before I'm getting eaten.
Oh, right, Brent, go ahead.
I think I could do okay because I'm kind of an outdoorsman. I think I could live out in the woods and hunt a little bit, fish a little bit, do that kind of stuff. But I'd have to get I would try to save my family, unlike Brandon. But I think we'd make it out to the woods and we'd hang on for a little while.
Okay. I like it. I like it. All right. Next question. So I know that we're all three of us are Buckeye fans. This is to Brent. What do you think of that hire for that team up north? Give me your take on that. Never mind the mess that led to it, because what a joke. Like, that place is such a freaking mess. What are your thoughts on their hire though of Whittingham or whatever?
Well, the mess that led to it is what led to it because he's a great coach and I think he'll do fine, but he's not a long
Yeah.
term guy because he's in his 60s.
Late.
And
66. He's 66.
yeah. So when he retired from Utah, I figured he had a great career and he was probably done as a coach. But when a program like Michigan comes along and can throw all the money in the world at you, sure you're going to take it. And
Yeah.
I think it was more like they found him. They had to talk him into going there. Coming back out of retirement because of the mess that they had. They weren't going to have a lot of really strong, younger candidates who are like the up and comer kind of guys who are going to, maybe lead a program for 10 years. I don't see him doing that, but I think he'll do well. But it's almost comical, the mess that they have there and that they had to do it that way. But for weeks you heard about, oh, this guy's going to go to Michigan. No, he's not. He just got a new contract at his school, and then this guy's name comes up, and those guys didn't want to touch that place.
You're
So
right.
he had to have, I think, some. Well, first of all, he's at a point in his career where he doesn't have to be anywhere for a long time, anyways. So
Yeah.
he can go there and let her rip and see what happens, and he gets to coach at one of the premier programs in all of college football. I mean, historically, and
Yeah.
probably get paid who knows how much money. So I think that I think Michigan was kind of fortunate to land on him, but it's not a long term solution for them.
Yeah. Brandon, your
I
take?
would agree with Brett. I think he's a solid coach. He's got a good 20-year run at Utah, and he's always had solid teams, well coached teams. I don't think that, like Brent says, I don't think that he's going to be there longer than 5-6 years. I think he'll get it moving and kind of make his mark and hand it off to somebody else. But on the flip side of that, they were also excited about Rich Rod when they hired him. So, and that turned into a giant freaking disaster. So it's Michigan. Like, it's a shit show right now. And I don't know. I hope that they do well, because when they do well, not like successfully, but when their program, it makes the Big Ten better. It makes the Ohio State Michigan game better. I mean, it's just when they are a better team, everybody else is everybody else is better. So hopefully it was funny though. I said it was somebody said they looked on his Instagram or whatever, and he only follows 4 women, and one of them's his wife, and 2 of them are his daughters or something like that, and the 4th one's like his niece or something. So it's a win-win for Michigan, since considering he only follows 4 women on Instagram or something like that. So And he hasn't posted in like 6 years or something. Who knows? But
So I'm going to respond to some things you said there, Brandon, because I may live in that state up north, but I hate that team, and I'm not going to be complimentary. So I just one, the Big Ten is. Have you seen how we're dominating bowl games right now? The Big Ten is. So you can make the argument that whether Michigan's good or not, the Big Ten is still playing well. I mean, in bowls, right? I know that the regular season record. So I just don't want to be complimentary of them. I think he's a good coach. I really do. I think he's a good coach who had good results in the Pac 10. Take that for what it's worth. But I also, and this isn't a knock on him, I'm so annoyed by these Michigan fans who have flipped the script to they're acting like he's the guy we wanted all along. This is who we needed, who we wanted. No, he's not. If this is the guy you wanted all along, you would have fired Sharon Moore a long time ago and said, this is numero uno. But he's not. He's the guy that you were left with. You got a better coach than most people thought you were going to. Because to Brent's point, it was Kalen DeBoer, done deal. Then it was, he just re-upped. Nope, Kenny Dillingham, done deal. Oh, it's Jed Fish, done deal. The reporting on it alone was like, if you don't actually have this substantiated, stop reporting it, because you are making Michigan look even worse, which I don't mind that because I don't like them. But so anyways, all right. Let's do, what question we got here? I know which way each of you are probably going to go on this, but I'm going to ask it. We'll make these questions a little quicker. If you got to live in one of these places the rest of your life, which one would you choose and why? So you can either live in a log cabin in Montana on 100 acres or beachfront property on 5 acres in Florida on the Gulf side. Brandon, which one do you pick and why? Yeah. Why?
I mean, I like the beach and I like the warm weather. Sand gets everywhere. It gets in all the cracks. And it's terrible. It causes
Okay.
It's terrible. So I'd much rather be out hiking in the woods, mountains, hunting, fishing, doing whatever.
Okay.
That's my type of jam versus being on a beach. You don't have hurricanes, you don't have flooding, all that kind of shit. So
I like it. Brent, how about you? Same question.
Well, I love the log cabin, but I'm taking the beach because I would have a pole in the water all day, every day. I would live out there and fish. Warm weather. The older I get, the more I like warm weather. So,
well, and if you own beachfront property on the Gulf, you're probably doing pretty well for yourself. So if you wanted to go spend a couple weeks in Montana, you probably could.
I'd go visit Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bingo.
I'll build a treehouse in my 100 acres.
Yeah. Well, I heard you guys, when you guys couldn't hear me, I heard you guys talking about how my father-in-law is moving down to Florida, and he's selling his house up here. And he was like, yeah, Josh can just rent a U-Haul and bring down the stuff that I want to bring down here. So Tony's like, Dad, you can hire someone to do that. Josh isn't driving a freaking U-Haul to Venice, Florida.
Well,
so you can save a couple
Josh
bucks.
was like, well, maybe you could go with me. You can fly us both. I'm like, whatever.
I mean, look, just like Brent would at least try and save his family in a zombie apocalypse. I would pretty much do anything for family. So if it was push came to shove and he's like, hey, do you think you can do this? Sure, I'll do it. You're going to pay for my flight home because I'm not driving that thing back. But so, all right, next question. So we're going to get back to football a little bit here because I know that there's some TSU guys who like to listen to this and they're probably like, talk about football. So, Brandon, if you could go back and change the outcome of any specific plays in your high school or college career, including coaching, that's more for Brent, what would those plays be and how would you change them?
How would I change a play? I don't know.
Yeah. So like the outcome. So is there in your high school or college career, was there a play or a certain event where you're like, boy, if I could go back, I'd change this, and this is why I would change it. This is more, I ask this a lot when I have the TSU guys on, and, like Steck and Eby are like, I want to get 6 more. I want to get 1 more interception. I want to do that. Like whatever the play is.
I don't know. I think I would. I didn't play a whole lot, but I would have loved to. I would have loved to play more, but I would have also tried to. I wasn't big enough to be on the offensive line, so there was rumblings when I was there about them possibly moving me to defense, and I would have loved because I always thought I was a pretty good defensive player, and I would have. I wish I would have pursued that, going to Schoonmaker and said, "Try me at defense," or going to Nemeth and said, "Put me on defense. Let me try it." I wish I would have. I wish I would have pursued that option a little bit more because I think I would have had a better opportunity playing because I wasn't the tallest and I wasn't the heaviest and the biggest offensive lineman. That's why I was a swing lineman. I played all 3 positions because I just wasn't. I just didn't have enough ass to fit really anywhere. So I mean, I wish I would have played on the defensive side of the ball or pursued that option, and I think I would have had an opportunity to play a lot more um, with that. So I mean, I wish I would have lobbied the coaches for that opportunity instead of looking back now in hindsight. Back in the day, I was just kind of like, well, this is where they want me, and this is where I'm at. Instead of just saying, hey, I want to play. Put me where you think I am going to fit best. So that's, I guess, what I would
But
say.
because I mean, in that situation, I mean, we had a lot of really good defensive linemen, but when you think about the way our defense was, you would have had you in theory could have had a better shot of playing because
Mhm.
guys get tired
Right.
rotating defensive linemen in versus, I mean, I'm almost certain we didn't rotate offensive linemen in unless someone got hurt. Vis-a-vis John Fletcher goes in, he's in one play, gets kicked out because he told the guy he
Right.
was going to kill him and his family. So, no, that's a good one. Hey, we would have welcomed you onto the defensive side because that's where the
Yeah.
real badasses are. So, Coach Nemeth, if you're listening, you heard it here, man. I said it. Coach Carlson, I know you're listening. It's not a knock on the offense. Defense wins championships, though. Boom. All right, Brent, how about you? If you could go back, if there's any specific plays, whether in high school or college or in your coaching, and you could change those plays, what would those plays be and how would you change them?
So one play I remember from college, it was our last game against Malone. Um, I played the whole game because Nick Vanover got hurt the week before against St. Francis. So I don't know. I only started like a handful of games in college because you mentioned it on here before. We had some really good linebackers, and
Yeah.
I was kind of the backup to all 3 of those guys. So when Nick went out, then I started at the will linebacker, and Andy Slagle moved to the Mike. Well, it took me 4 years to figure out pass coverage, and and I think even in that last week, you were still yelling at me about where my break was supposed to be in cover 3 versus cover 4. But in that game, I batted down a ball, and if I would have recognized it just like a split second sooner, I would have intercepted it. But I just got a hand
Oh,
on it instead, and it was just recognition. I didn't quite recognize it in time, and I
yeah.
ended up like that was the last game we played. I personally had a great game. I ended up with, I don't know, 6 or 8 tackles. I had a big stop on the goal line where we stopped them on a goal line stand, and then I had a batted down pass that should have been an interception. So I think about that play. I think about, and in coaching, I can think of one. In 2018, in 2018, we had Coldwater on the ropes at home. We were ahead the whole game. We ran the ball really, really effectively. And they came back because they're always, they throw well. They made some plays. They came back. We had the lead. I think we had a 4-point lead, and we just needed one more first down. We needed one more first down, and we had like a third and 3 or a 3rd and 4, and we were running a zone play really, really well the whole game. And I thought about calling a naked boot that I think would have been there. I think the quarterback could have taken it the other way and gotten
Mhm.
the yardage for a first down. And we didn't call the naked boot. We ran the zone play one more time, and we were like a foot short. And they got the ball back, made a couple big plays, and scored, and ended up beating us at the very end of the game. So all we needed was one more first down. We could have nailed it. And I think about like that particular decision, and I think I should have told him, I should have called naked. But
What would you get? What did you guys make the playoffs that year?
no, no.
Would
If we
that
would have,
game have made a difference?
yeah, we would have probably got in with that one. Yeah,
Oh,
And
especially because
I will say, Coldwater's a bunch of dirty bastards. So
aren't you sitting in cold water right now? Is that why you
yeah,
just said that?
yeah, yeah. My
Uh,
I didn't
stomach
say
turns
that.
a little bit every time I have to drive here. But it is what it is.
you know what? Well, that's Minster. Never mind. Anyways, when I think I just thought of, you said Coldwater, but it's Minster because you remember Ross Hoehn
Oh yeah,
played for Minster. He was our grade, Brent. Brian Hoehn. He played linebacker.
Ross Homan
He
played
played
Coldwater.
linebacker, but they played linebacker almost all year or something. But somehow he ended up. So that year, our senior year, I was first team all district, first team all state, but I was second team all conference in a MAC because Minster's coach put Brian Hoehn up for safety or defensive back because of like the defense that they ran. Because Coach Whiting came up to me, he called me to he's a teacher, and he called me to his room. He's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that the Max accolades are coming out, and you got second team." He goes, "You should have got first team, but Minster pulled this bullshit where they put this Brian Hoehn who played linebacker all year. They made the argument that because he was like a rover that they moved him to DB so he could get those votes." And I'm like, and I'm a team player, so I'm like, I don't care. I just want to win another state championship. But now that I'm in my 40s and I'm petty, fuck you, Brian Hoehn.
Well, it's that Homan name. Something about it.
I always like to ask that question. So the fun fact is, I've gotten some different answers. Some guys are total me guys. Derek Eby, if you're listening, every one of his, and I busted his balls about it. He's like, I wish that this would have happened so I could have got another interception so that I could have had better stats. He like 3 or 4 different things. I'm like, wow, you don't want to go back and say, boy, I wish that this play against Walsh would have been different our senior year, or no, or say, I wish we could have beat St. Francis our senior year so that we could have made the playoffs. Or I wish that something, if you remember, we were playing Georgetown our junior year, Brandon's senior year. Like we were only down by like 7, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's fun to ask that because quite frankly, sometimes I don't remember the play until the individual brings it up. So
I couldn't believe how many plays Derek remembered in detail.
yeah,
He was like an encyclopedia.
Yeah, it was impressive, very impressive. So
I got my
here's a question.
too many times. I don't remember too many mild.
Yeah. Look, those times at Tri-State, we had a lot of fun there. And then you go on and you're living your life, and you forget a lot of the fun that we had. Then we have these conversations, and you're like, "Yeah, we did do that. Oh, yeah, we did that. Oh man." So, a couple more questions.
Funny you said that. Brent and I met up a few weeks ago. His daughter goes to school at Bluffton and plays basketball there. So I message him. I say, hey, I'm only 7 minutes or 10 minutes from Bluffton. I said, hey, when you're up in town, just let me know. We can get together. We can meet up or whatever before a game or so. We go. He messaged me. He says, hey, we got a game on the 13th. If you guys want to meet up, and I said, sure. We can go to the bowling alley. So we sat there and we drank some beers and talked and caught up. And he and I start, and Kim's there, Brent's wife, and we start talking about how some of the terrible stuff that we did in college.
Yeah.
And Chris is sitting over there
No
going,
one was
you
hurt.
did that?
No one was hurt.
You did that? What? She's like, I cannot believe, and we're just sitting there laughing. We're like, and Kim's going, yeah, they were the meathead friggin' idiots. Like, that's just how it is, Because Brent's daughter says the football players at Bluffton, they're just a bunch of knuckle draggers, and it's hilarious. And Brent's like, we were the knuckle draggers, and that's just how it is. That's just they grow up and then they aren't as stupid anymore. But while they're there, they're knuckle dragging idiot football Neanderthals. So
it's funny. So it's funny you say that. I was going through I showed you the jerseys I found. I found a bunch of pictures because I found stuff. I found the defensive playbook they gave us when we first got to camp our freshman year, Brent. And I was looking at that thing and I got a Coach Carlson. I know you're listening or watching. There was a lot of motivational pieces in there, and it was. Hold on, I'm gonna read something.
Together, everyone achieves more.
Yes.
You go to the back of this thing, Blue Swarm, baby. That's right. So just back here, there are steps. The Tri-State Thunder football success is a choice. Step 1, build self-esteem. And then there's 5 bullet points underneath it. Step 2, set demanding goals. Anyways, always be positive, establish good habits. A lot of stuff in here. When I look at this, I'm like, you know what? This is actually really good stuff for life. Absolutely. If you just simplify it down. And I'm like, and to Chrisman talked about this on his podcast. He goes, that quote that Coach Carlson always used to say, he's like, nothing's that. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do your impression here, Coach, because I know you like it. Guys, come on, listen up. Bring it in. Listen, it was an okay practice. You got to remember, nothing's ever as good as it seems. Nothing's ever as bad as it seems. Everything lands somewhere in the middle. That's life, guys. Come on. All right? Remember that. Get a break and get out of here.
You got to know what you're doing.
So, what are you doing?
Know what you're doing.
Coach Nemeth, get him out of there. Anyways.
You wouldn't believe how many times I've used that over the years. I've said it, I don't know. If I've said it once, I've said it 50 times. For sure.
So, I've never actually said the phrase, but when you step back, I'm like, I've never said it, but I always talk to my kids about it. It's basically like, hey, the grass isn't always greener. And sometimes you're in a pretty good situation. You just don't realize it, So, the moral of the story is if you listen, if I'd have listened a little better and retained stuff, I probably would have, been a little bit further along at some things that I wanted to achieve in life. So we still got him, Coach. So,
but
a couple more questions.
The first call in that book is 30 cover 4, right? Has to be.
Well, these are a bunch of pages where we had to write plays in.
That was the base. That was the base.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't know what
and the more
was, but he knew the 30 part.
Well, and the thing is this really wasn't, it was a playbook, but it was more of a note-taking thing. But I remember this. Remember the old, one fail, all fail.
Oh, yeah. Together, everyone achieves more.
That's right here.
Yep.
Mad, make a difference, baby. And I can't believe that I found that. So here we go. A couple more questions. Brent, who would play you in a movie about your life? Who would be the actor playing Brent Niekamp in in Brent Niekamp, the story. I don't know what the story would be, but
Jeez,
who's the actor? I have one
no,
in mind right now
I have
for
no
you.
idea. I don't know. I'm
I
drawing a
still
complete blank.
couple things. I'm looking at you right now, and I see a little Jason Statham because the
Okay.
deep voice, the shaved
Short
head,
hair. Yeah.
Jason Statham, or maybe Al Bundy. I don't know.
Neil, okay. I could probably
No,
Polk High.
you don't know
Polk
who's
High.
what.
Polk High, right? Number 33.
Oh yeah.
4 touchdowns.
4
Yeah.
touchdowns.
Legend.
Brandon, how about you, Brandon? Who would play you
Well,
in
I'd be
a movie?
remiss if I didn't say this. The guys at work always tell me that I look like Michael Chiklis from The Shield.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
okay.
they give me a hard time about looking like Michael Chiklis all the time. So I would have to say him.
Okay. I like it. I like it. All right. Here's the last question. It's more of a conversation piece. We're having a small get together this summer, right? And Steck's actually working on getting to have an opportunity for us to be able to the 25th year of football there, where we of our conference championship, right? To be able to come back for a game. But this summer, a few of us are all going to get together. There's been some discussion going around that Hensel is going to try and drink his age at the get together this summer. If he should attempt this challenge, what odds are you giving him to complete it? So now there's been no delineation between, okay, does he have to drink his, if it's a Friday, Saturday, which is kind of what we're planning on, does he have to do it back to back days, or does he need to just drink his age combined in the 2 days? For me, I think it's probably more prudent to try and do it combined in the 2 days, because
Safer
that's
bet.
still a lot. That's still a lot in 2 days. So, and by the way, I'm the one that's starting this rumor because it came up in a text thread between Hensel and Steck and I. Because Steck goes, Eric's gonna drink his age this summer. So, what are the odds?
If he's got 2 days, even money.
I would say that would be probably a pretty safe bet. If he had 2 days, 1 day, that'd be pretty hard. We're getting pretty old.
So he's got 2 days. We'll just make the rules now. Eric, if you're listening, you have 2 days. You have Friday by end of day Saturday to drink your age at Steck's house in July.
The key is,
So you're giving even money. That's like 22 and a half beers a day.
the key is, I've learned from Josh at Mr. 4th of July, you got to drink a couple beers and then have a water. You got to keep up a good water to beer ratio in order to be able to sustain throughout the afternoon and the day. So I think if you had 2 days, it would probably be pretty close.
You're missing one key factor there, Brandon. It's not 2 beers and a water. I mean, you should do that. That's what I recommend. But you can't deviate. You have to pick a light beer, and you cannot deviate. You need to only drink that light beer all day. The minute you deviate, you're screwed.
I mean,
So
Busch Light or whatever you're drinking. I mean, I could do that. I can't say that I can do my age, but I could drink the same beer all day, every day, both days.
Brandon, yeah, you definitely cannot do your age.
No,
I give you 3 days, and I don't think you can do your age.
3, you're crazy. That's a legit challenge I would take up. In 3 days, piece of cake. Especially if it's hot out, that's easy money.
All right. So Brent is saying even money. Wow. Odds maker Brent.
Well, Hensel's an animal too, so
He's a different beast.
Guys, we are mid 40s. You're thinking with your college brain, okay? You're thinking with your college brain, just because you're determined. You're like, I can do this, but you're not thinking with your 45-year-old brain. So, anything you guys wanted to chat about briefly? That's all I had. I I'm trying to figure out, instead of always talking about the same things, I'm just trying to have some fun, different ways, connecting with you
I think
guys.
this is
And
good.
um,
This was good. Like I said, I met up with Brent the other week, and that was fun. We had a good time. Went to the game, watched his daughter play. It was fun, and you know, like we were laughing because Kim, even at the thing when we met up with Christy and I met up with Brent and Kim, Kim's like, "What the hell?" She goes, "What the hell? You guys are getting together this summer, and I'm not allowed to go. I've known you guys just as long." And I go, "I'm not making the rules here, Kimmy. I'm not making the rules, you know." But
that's not a me thing. I said it in the text, and Brent laughed about it. I said what I said, and that was the truth. I'm not going to say it on here in case other people hear it. But because look, Tony was like, "What?" She's like, "I want to meet these guys." She's like, "I want to meet these guys." I'm like, "I wanted you to meet them too, but yeah, I got a dirty look when I suggested it." So
no, it's fun. It's. I've always enjoyed. I was telling Brent the other week, like when I've gone up to trying for a homecoming game or whatever. I've always and I've told Christy before too. Like I can like not see you guys for 5 years and then meet up with you, and then we can pick up the conversation just like it was yesterday or like it was 2 weeks ago, and be able to just not see somebody for 5 years and then just pick up conversation like it was just yesterday or last week when I'd seen them last. So hey,
and had you not played college football, Brandon, that wouldn't have happened.
that's right.
So
That's right. But
exactly.
I do, you know, and I've told other people too, like in my previous jobs and at my current job, like football, as hard as it is and as demanding as it is, and as much punishment it does to your body and your, you know, your joints, and it teaches you so much more about life, and it teaches you so much more about just being disciplined and being a better dad and brother and a son and a partner. And it just teaches you so much more about life than just the game of football. Football in the grand aspect of it is a small piece of it, but it teaches you so much more about being a good person, and you know, like depending on other people, and you know, because it's not an individual thing. So I cherish everything that I learned in all of my relationships that I've had in the time that I played football, in the 12 years that I played. So it's one of the greatest things that I've ever done and experienced in my life, and I wouldn't change it or take it away or do anything different with it.
Brandon getting sentimental. I like it. Brent, any last words? And then I'm gonna end it up. I'm gonna say a few things to speak to what Brandon said.
It's, as always, great to talk to you guys. Can't wait to do it again.
Exactly. And here's what we'll end with. Brandon just talked about the experiences in football. I cannot say this enough. I am so glad that we played football in the time in which we played football. And by that I mean, as much as the 3-a-days and all that, like you're hitting every day in practice, as much as that now is like so frowned upon. I'm so glad that we didn't have social media. I'm so glad that the internet was like just in its infancy. I'm so glad that there weren't all these other things. I saw this. I saw a recruiting photo. I think Brandon sent it in a text, or maybe not. It was. Oh no, it was a Colorado recruit. Two Colorado recruits, I think. And these guys were like standing in like these. The one dude was like doing the splits, and in the Colorado jersey, and the other guy behind him was doing like some kind of TikTok thing. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you doing? I'm just so like if I think that we wouldn't be I know we want to be the men that we are today. We wouldn't have the toughness we have today if we wouldn't have played football and grew up in a time in which we did. Like in my take, I know there's still tough kids that play football, but I think that our group was probably some of the last college football like NAIA football players to really be like just gritty and tough in all aspects. mentally, physically, and understanding that I hopefully you guys get what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm just glad that that's when we grew up. So, and in case you're wondering, the Mr. and Mrs. 4th of July calendars are out, and here's Mr. November.
Action photo right there, baby.
So, all right, guys, look, I appreciate you guys. I know this won't be the last time we talk. I hope you guys have a good New Year's, and thanks everybody for listening.
Get off my lawn. Don't turn around in my driveway. And don't drive slow if you're in the left lane. Scooby-Doo-bop-bop-a-deep-a-doop-bop-bop. Surrounded by real